Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and today I've got a question, and of course a lot of excuses of why we're not going to work on the plastic injector. But the question is that I noticed is, are dogs getting more wimpy, weaker these days than they used to be? And the reason I ask that is every winter, the local news guys, bring your dogs in, it's going to get cold tonight, maybe down to freezing and this and that and the other. And I remember when I was a young boy, this was this was where I lived in Oklahoma. This is Waters Manor, and this little house is 3 rooms. That's a living room, a bedroom, and a kitchen. And this thing right, let me find it. Everything's backwards here. It makes me nuts. This thing right here on the porch, that's the central heat. If you put that wood burning stove in the center of things, it would heat something. And that extremely cute little boy right there, that's me. That's my oldest brother, and that's my mother, and she's holding my oldest brother's oldest child there. So he managed to escape there. Um, anyway, as I was saying, this was Waters Manor, and there wasn't any water in that house around. There was no plumbing, there was no air conditioning, there wasn't any carpets. In the wintertime, it was, just about as cold inside as it was outside, because the only side of you that got warm was the side facing that wood stove. And that was just in the living room. And so you can see that it wasn't exactly a palatial thing. And our dogs never came in that house. My dad would never allow a dog in the house, or any kind of an animal, because animals lived outside and people lived inside. Okay? So our dogs spent the winter time outside, and it snowed there in Oklahoma, and it got cold as the devil. And we didn't die, and the dogs didn't die. And on top of that, my dad never fed the dog anything but just table scraps. If that wasn't enough, they had to get out and catch something. And still the dogs didn't die. They seemed to live pretty good. But we get now to modern times, we see people making little coats for dogs and shoes for them. And you know, we got a dog around the house here that the vet tells us is too fat to go outside because he couldn't take the heat. Well, there you go. So undoubtedly, dogs must be getting a lot weaker and wimpier now that they're under our wings. And it's amazing because the wolves they come from can live anywhere, anytime. They don't care about the snow or the heat or whatever, and they just keep on keeping on. So it makes me think maybe you guys can tell me that maybe the dogs that we have these days are just getting weaker. They're not the sturdy stock that they came from before. Maybe. And then I'll have to tell you the reason that we're not working on the injector today is I only got a couple of afternoons of work on it, which wasn't much progress. Uh, Last Wednesday through Friday, I went to the range, took the boss lady, and we spent time out there. And a couple of those afternoons, we came home and I worked on some stuff. And then Saturday, the granddaughter wanted to go to the range with us, so we went out and spent even more time there. And then I tried installing security lights for somebody, and that took way up after dark. And then Sunday, I shot in the Steel Challenge. That's one of the motivations for going to the range all week. And I didn't do anything spectacular in the Steel Challenge. In fact, I've got to where I don't even look up my score because it's so bad. But nevertheless, uh, come Monday, well, let's see, what did I do Monday? I did something else Monday. I don't remember what it was that took all day. And then Tuesday, there was this YouTube creators get together in Houston, and that took a whole day. And so here we are down to Wednesday, and you know, nothing done on the plastic injector. But I do have some ideas. Number one, I'd like to request that viewers send me your picture. My email address is down there, and all you got to do is send me a picture. Send me a picture of you doing what you like to do, or hanging out with whoever you like to hang out, or just a picture of you, whatever. and I'll put it up here every week. However many pictures I got, they'll be shown here in the video, and then we can all get to know each other even better. You know, I'll have a face for the names. And when you send it in, tell me what name you want to use. If you don't use your real name, you want to use your YouTube name, well, that's fine, you know. And one of the things we did that at this creators thing was have somebody critique our channel, and the guy that looked at mine said my intro was pretty bad. And so I thought about that, and I thought, well, it had been a longer intro of the same thing, and I had learned that I needed to cut it down to about 12 seconds, and I did that. But apparently, even 12 seconds of bad material isn't any good. So maybe you guys can suggest a better intro, or maybe I need to get some better video software. I really hate doing stuff like that. Um, maybe that's it. Need to have a fancy thing with, you know, characters moving around and whatever. So you guys can kind of help me with that, you know. And I'll show you a little bit of just a couple of seconds of footage from the, you know, the thing yesterday, and you can tell me what you see wrong. It should be interesting. Okay, did you guys see anything suspicious in that video? That was taken before everybody had arrived, before things got started. And if you think you know what's wrong with that video, put it down there in the comments, okay? And I know somebody will catch it, but maybe not. And then at the end of this thing, after I've said goodbye and begged everybody to subscribe and all that, well, I'll put the video in without any suspicious things, okay? Anyway, so today we're going to do the Fifth Amendment, and I'll get into that. And then when we come back from the Fifth Amendment, we may have a Bubba joke. That's another thing that I'm hoping you guys could help me with. If you got any good Bubba jokes, email those suckers to me, because, you know, it's hard finding a new joke. After a while, you've gone through them all. My boss lady says there are not going to be any X-rated jokes or even R-rated jokes. She's my channel censor. So, you know, you guys, it's up to you to keep the keep the Bubba jokes going. I know I've had viewers in the past sent me a few jokes, and they were pretty darn good. So I know you know them, and I know you can send them. All right, Now let's go to yeah, I think the Fifth Amendment, and then we'll come back and see about Bubba. And even though I seemed a little bit confused there, we're going to do the Sixth Amendment, which gets us a little over halfway through the Bill of Rights, which is going to be just the first 10 amendments. If you're from some other country, you may want to fast forward a couple of seconds if you're still here. But the Sixth Amendment reads, "In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense." So there you are. That's the Sixth Amendment, and gives you the right to a speedy trial, gives you a right to confront the witnesses against you, no secret witnesses, and gives you the ability to get your own witnesses that will testify in your favor. All right, folks, so today, actually, Bubba is out of pocket, so we're going to have Ole and Lena, and they're going to entertain us this time. But anyway, Ole and Lena are sitting in the living room watching TV, and the phone rings, and Rolly goes off and answers it, comes back, sits down all upset, crying. Lena says, "What's the matter, Rolly?" He says, "I just found out my father died." So he sits there a little while, sort of regains his composure. Phone rings again, and he gets up and leaves the room, and he comes back in all upset again. Lena says, "Well, what's the matter now, Ole?" He says, "Well," he says, "that was my brother." He says, "He just called and told me his father died too." Hey, yeah, it was a pretty bad day. So, all right, so this is pretty much the video for the day. And following this, you get to see the little video that I asked you to figure out if you knew what was wrong. This should give you a bit of a hint, although you might have to go back and play it over again. And I appreciate you guys viewing. And if you don't subscribe, and next week we really will get back to the plastic injection. I'll have a lot more time to work, and things will be better for us. Okay, but anyway, here comes the video the right way, and appreciate all of you. And like I said, keep on keeping on.
I'm being comfortable, but I'm always told